Is back into it in Chester. Here's El Senior. Yes! Yes!
The center back, Jacob Glesnes.
He's going for it.
Yes! Oh my goal! What a goal!
And that will do it! One of the best comebacks in recent years. 3 unanswered by the Union. And they go into the Gold Cup break, winning it 3-2.
Hello and welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd, and get it out right away. And to get it out right away, congratulations to LAFC for winning the 2022 MLS Cup. Well-deserved champions. And, what a game that was. It's going to go down as an all-time MLS final. Maybe the best MLS final that we've ever had in the league. And it's crazy that that's how the season ended for the Philadelphia Union, is in penalty kicks. And after you see the team just fight back twice from being a goal down to getting the lead late into the second half of extra time, and then to give up a goal with 2 minutes left, a minute left, I think it was. That hurts. That hurts. That's the way that the Union season comes to an end. And you look back last year to the Nashville game, where I remember sitting in the river end and all these people around me, and I'm sure you guys felt the same way too, just super nervous that game went into penalty kicks. And you guys have been fans of this team since the beginning. All the U.S. Open Cup losses, losing in penalties to Sporting Kansas City. Now I get to experience what it's like, what you guys felt when the Union lost in those matches. And penalty kicks aren't fun, right? And it's just incredible that it took a minute. 1 minute is all the Union had to do to defend their lead, and they would have won the biggest trophy that you could possibly win in MLS. And Gareth Bale outjumps Jack Elliott, and you feel like at that moment all the momentum goes back to LAFC, and you get into penalties and you see Andre Blake make the first save on Christian Teo, and you're like, wow, all that momentum that LAFC had now just switched to the Union. And then you see Daniel Gazdag slip, and I think in that moment for me, when Gazdag went down, where he hadn't missed a penalty ever in his career, and he slips in that moment, you knew that it was probably going to be over for the Union, that they're losing this penalty shootout. And you look and see Kai Wagner and Jose Martinez get their penalties saved. And I saw one tweet on social media on Twitter where this fan says he wants to fire Jim, fire Ernst Tanner, get rid of the whole team. And I just think the next couple days, it's probably going to be smart just to stay off of social media, because you're going to get idiot fans saying idiotic things. And to say something stupid like that, I'm not going to pay it any more time on this podcast, but you honestly can't be mad at anybody on that team. Yeah, you want to be mad that Martinez and Kai Wagner had their penalties saved, but to see this team come back twice. They went down twice. They gave up the go-ahead goal in the 83rd minute. And 2 minutes later, they get a goal from Jack Elliott to tie this game up 2-2. You saw last week against New York City where the team went down. And I played you guys a clip where I talked about it on Twitter Spaces where Ale Bedoya said, going down 1-0 against New York City, if this was teams from the past that would have kept us down, we wouldn't have came back from it. And the Union go into a hostile environment in LA and come back twice. And they eventually get the go-ahead goal. And I think that's the part that probably stings the most, is that the Union dominated this game, in my opinion. And I know you look at a scoreline that says 3-3, you're like, well, how can a team dominate? But we saw LAFC's game plan in this game. And they wanted the Union to possess the ball. And we know the Union don't prefer to have the ball, but I thought they looked good. Passing ball when they were just taking the time to break down the LAFC defense. And it's not often that you see the Union outpass a team. But that was LAFC's game plan, and I thought the Union did well with it. And to see them come from behind twice, you just, like Ali said, you don't see that. And we're not gonna play any clips from the post-game press conference, from players, from coaches, none of that, because I'm recording this podcast right after I got home from Subaru Park. And yeah, that environment was incredible to see. I would guess maybe 9,000 fans at Subaru Park, and the game wasn't even happening at Subaru Park. And to see that many fans come out to the game, come out to the watch party, that was truly special to see. Something that I think, we talk about how much this team means to fans, how much the fans mean to the players. But you see 8 to 9,000 people come out to a watch party for a game that's not even happening at Subaru Park. And these fans go anyway. And to see the scenes when the Union tied the game up the first time, people running around the field, and people hugging. The second time the Union scored, people were going even more crazy. The third time the Union take the lead. And yeah, I think as much as it sucks, as much as it'll be a while before probably a lot of us get over the result, I think of the happy moments in Subaru Park. Just all those fans that came out for that game. And soccer, in my opinion, has truly made it in Philadelphia. And it's really, really special to see how much the Philadelphia Union mean to people, and how strangers can just go around and high five and hug it out and just be so happy. And that's why they call it the beautiful game, right? It unites people. And I was definitely bummed not going out to LA, but yeah, I definitely feel like I made the right choice going to Subaru Park and experiencing that gigantic watch party. And when it was announced that the Union were going to have watch parties, there was no way that I was going to watch this game at home, because I wanted to go where other Union fans were. I want to experience the highs, the lows, no matter what the result was going to be. I want to be there with other Union fans. And I hope in the coming days, people post these videos of their time in LA. People post about their time at Subaru Park. And yeah, it sucks that the Union were this close. This was supposed to be the year after such a historic season for the Union. And I don't want to take anything away from the Union losing MLS Cup, because we talked about it last episode on Twitter Spaces. If the Union lose MLS Cup, is the 2022 season a disappointment? And I said it. You guys said it that participated. You all said no, it is not. And so for the people that are feeling down, trust me, I feel down with you guys too, that we were a minute away from hosting that MLS Cup. Seeing the players get up off their seats, knowing that they're a minute away from running crazy on that field. That's it's crazy, right? Just how unfair the game can be. And I guess, my sister brought this point up in the car ride back. She's like, man, now we know how New York Red Bull fans feel twice, with Jacob Glesnes scoring that goal in the 123rd minute, with Marco Fabian scoring that goal in 2019 in extra time. It's like we've experienced the highest of highs, and then again, you go and experience a low. And I think a word that got thrown around a lot by fans in Subaru Park and in texts that I got after the game, a lot of people said that they felt numb. And I think that's probably the right feeling to feel. But the one thing I haven't seen people say, and maybe people are saying this on Twitter, I haven't been on Twitter too much. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay off of there. Once I saw that just completely negative comment by that person saying everybody needs to be fired, I don't think people should be disappointed. I think people should be happy with the way that the season went, happy with all the great memories. And I think one thing that sticks out to me is before the game, and I'm sure you guys know him, Elliot, not Jack Elliott, but the little boy that the Union did a feature on with him and Jack Elliott. Elliot's a kid that had cancer, and the Union did a feature on him because of the relationship between him and Jack Elliott. And so I got introduced to the family by Jeff Mitchell, who a lot of you guys know, before the game. And Elliott was so happy. He was telling all of us, he's like, oh, Jack Elliott's going to score this game. I know Jack Elliott's going to score. And to see Jack Elliott score a brace, like, man, this kid was so excited, like, saying he knows that Jack Elliott is going to score. And that's exactly what happened. This kid was so positive. And even after the game, he's running around the field playing catch with another Union fan. And while all of us are just sitting there in disbelief, trying to find our words, trying to find exactly how we feel. And this kid, not letting the disappointment get to him. He's finding joy with being with a whole bunch of Philadelphia Union fans, with seeing Jack Elliott score. And so I think that's a moment that sticks with me. And hopefully you guys that traveled out to LA, hopefully you guys, really embraced the trip that you guys took. And it sucks. It really does suck. A minute away, but it was just fantastic. Surreal, I guess, to see the Philadelphia Union in MLS Cup and to be that close from winning the thing. And we can all be mad about the penalty kick takers, upset with why didn't Carranza take one of them. Well, Carranza was probably your fifth taker. You normally send your best penalty kicker either first or fifth. And the Union decided to go with Daniel Gazdag first after Andre Blake makes a save. And Daniel Gazdag slips, and you feel the momentum completely change. You feel like, yeah, the Union probably are going to lose this penalty shootout because Daniel doesn't miss penalties, and he slips and misses it. And you see Cory Burke guess the correct way out of 3 out of 4 penalties. And you always know you're going to get a chance with Andre Blake in the shootouts because Andre Blake is fantastic. We saw what he did against Nashville. We've seen what he's done in the regular season when teams have penalties. I feel like 9 out of 10 times Andre Blake guesses the correct way. And we see it 3 out of 4 times against LAFC. They lift MLS Cup. They lift the Supporter Shield. And they won the West. And like I said at the beginning of the show, congratulations to LAFC. They were deserved champs. But I think out of all that, I think this was the best possible final that MLS could have hoped for. Lots of goals, great defense. And I know 6 goals given up in this game, you would say not great defense. But yeah, there were so many plays where the Union are throwing their bodies to block shots. I look at a player like Jose Martinez, 16 ball recoveries. I mean, that's unbelievable. He worked his tail off in the midfield to start the counterattack for the Union. And yeah, I'm just proud of this team. Yeah, it's numb that we were a minute away and getting a text from my dad saying, yeah, the Union, you're going to see the Union lift a trophy. They're going to win it. And I really did feel like the Union were going to win it. But credit to LAFC for pushing men forward and for out-jumping Jack Elliott. Gareth Bale finds a way to step up big in finals. And he finds a way to do it in the MLS Cup. And I do think that Cory Burke's injury really hurt this team, where if you had Cory Burke out there on the field, that you would drop him back to defend crosses. And I haven't even went back to watch any of the goals yet. I'm going to record this podcast in like 2 separate segments where I'm just getting my thoughts out right away as soon as I get home. And then on Sunday, you guys will probably hear this podcast. But when I wake up on Sunday morning, I'll rewatch this game. I'll look at how the goals were scored. And maybe they should have had more people helping Bizo. Maybe Bizo could have done a better job not letting the cross come in. Jack Elliott gets out jumped. Maybe he could have marked Bale tighter. I don't know. A lot could have changed, right? But yeah, those scenes at Subaru Park, I think, will stay in my memory. And I saw people talking this morning, talking about whatever happens, that these are going to be core memories stuck in people's minds, win, lose, or draw. People are going to have this moment stuck in them forever. And yeah, the celebrations in the stadium, that's going to stick with me. Or after the Union lost, how quiet it got in that stadium, where literally you could drop a pin. And I know people say that saying all the time, but literally you could drop a pin in that stadium and hear it. Because as soon as the Union lost, it got super happy. Another memory that sticks out to me is I guess, were playing JP Della Camera and Danny Higginbottom's audio through the loudspeakers, and hearing the excitement in JP's voice once Jack Elliott scored the go-ahead goal. Like, I felt like JP was gonna cry. Like, you could tell in his voice, he was so excited. You could tell that he thought that the Union were gonna win MLS Cup, that the last ever broadcast for the Union, he's gonna watch them lift MLS Cup, and just doesn't happen. But just extremely proud, extremely happy with the way that the Union played, that they showed up, that they didn't let the crowd, the moment, get too big for them, even though they lost. And I think fans should just be proud of this team, even though, yeah, they didn't win MLS Cup, and you felt that this was their best chance. You have Paxton Aronson leaving in January to go to Frankfurt. Maybe we talk about that in this podcast. Maybe we save it for another podcast. I don't know. Uh, Kai Wagner, we all assume is going to leave, and I hope he doesn't leave. I hope Kai Wagner stays, that he stays until we win MLS Cup. But yeah, truth is, he's probably too good for MLS. Yeah, he's talked about wanting to go back to Europe. He's ready to go back to Europe, and we'll probably see Leeds United come in again for Kai in January because they are a terrible team defensively. So Kai will probably be gone, but that would be awesome if Kai stays. And who knows who else leaves? I mean, Jose Martinez, there's a chance that he could get sold too. I mean, he had a terrific final, in my opinion. Yeah, he got dispossessed a couple times. Yeah. He was too slow with moving the ball, but he put in a shift in the midfield and win the ball back to start counterattacks. Got the game-tying assist on Daniel Gazlag's goal. Great pass from Jose Martinez. I don't know, just I'm proud to be a Philadelphia Union fan, to see how much this team means to people. 13 years, you guys that have been around since day one have had to wait to see this team in MLS Cup. And it wasn't meant to be in 2022. And I just hope that people aren't disappointed in this team. And yeah, it might take a couple days for people to get over the disappointment, the numbness, but what a season it was. What a performance from the Union. To see Andre Blake come up big in this game with a couple huge saves. It's the reason why he's the team MVP. It's the reason why fans in Subaru Park were chanting MVP. It's the reason why I'm sure you guys in LA were chanting MVP, because Andre Blake is incredible, one of the world's best goalkeepers. And I know you guys say, yeah, he's the best goalkeeper in CONCACAF. Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made. But I think, yeah, we could definitely say Andre Blake is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, in my opinion. And yeah, it's a shame that he never got that move in 2017 because of Jamaica, right? Should have already been in Europe. But we're fortunate to have Andre Blake. We're extremely lucky to still have him. And yeah, just proud that we still have Andre. And again, just super proud of this team. And I'm sure we'll do a season review episode at some point. We'll see what we do about the podcast the remainder of the year. I'm sure I'll figure out things to do. I'm sure we'll always bring on Union fans to do one-on-one episodes. But I'm just proud of how this team played this season, how they played in LA. LA Bedoya, all the players in the locker room against New York City just kept talking about how resilient this team is. And you saw it. You saw it against LA. It's a shame that 2 out of 3 of LA's goals came off of set pieces, where the Union have been so good all season long. On set pieces, they've conceded the fewest of 3. And they conceded 2 in this game. 3 set pieces against LAFC on the season. It's crazy. And again, just all props, all credit to LAFC, a terrific team. And I know I said it before and I'll keep saying it, but this was a terrific final. Whichever one of these teams won, you feel like they were the deserving team. I know I said that the Union dominated this game, but LAFC, they came up big when it mattered most. They beat the Union in a game where the Union typically beat other teams, and you got to tip your hat to them for that. And for the fans for staying with them. And I know there was a ton of fans throwing bottles and beer on Union players after they scored, but you can't let a couple bad eggs paint the picture for a whole fan base saying that they're bad. At least I'm not going to. Maybe some of you guys will, but uh, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Right, just a lot of different emotions. Definitely the game of blown leads, that's for sure. Um, just super proud, and not having Ali out there, I think we see how much Ali Bedoya means to this team. His leadership, not being able to attack and defend like we normally do on the right side of the field. Jack Elliott and Jack McGlynn's a great player, not really a right-footed player, but Jim Curtin was never going to play Matt Real in this game. He was never going to play Jesus Bueno in this game. He's going to go with the player that's most comfortable with the rest of the starting 11. And yeah, it just sucks not having Ali out there and being injured in such a huge game, in the biggest game ever in Philadelphia Union history. But uh, it just wasn't meant to be. And again, I'm just super proud of all the fans, just seeing how excited this team makes fans. Just those memories of how crazy it was in Subaru Park. Like, you guys are gonna have memories how crazy you guys went in LA. To see this team take care of the front office and fly all them out to LA. Uh, the fly some Union fans out there. And I know early in the week there was some people that were jealous, and hopefully you guys are over that. Hopefully there's no ill feelings towards other Union fans for those people that were fortunate to go out to LA, that were selected by the front office to go out. Hopefully you guys aren't jealous, right? Because we're all here, whether as journalists, whether it's as fans, is to give this team the support, the coverage that they deserve. And I think this season, the Union definitely put themselves on the map for all of MLS. But not only that, for the city of Philadelphia, and to see the city embrace this team. And you guys have been calling for this since day one. Embrace the Philadelphia Union, and that's exactly what you got this season, especially in the playoffs. And hopefully that continues next season and for years to come. Be proud of this team. Don't let this loss deteriorate how the season went. Don't let it discourage you. Because I'm not yet, I feel numb. Yeah, it hurts that you're a minute away. But I'm just proud. Proud of this team, proud of the fight. And I hope after we get $4 million for Paxton Aronson, I hope we reinvest that money, bring in depth, because I think that's part of it too. Why LAFC were the better team. It came down to depth. To bring off a player like Gareth Bale, scores the game-tying goal. And as much as we all love the homegrown players, as good as they are, you feel like, if we had a little bit better players, international players that have played meaningful first team minutes, maybe they make the difference in this game for us. But yeah, I hope I hope Ernst Tanner has his eyes on targets that he can bring in for next season, that those targets work out. I would love for Kai Wagner not to get sold, for Daniel Gazdag not to leave, Jose Martinez. Hopefully the core of this team can stay together until we win MLS Cup. But we'll see what happens. And again, just thank you. Thank you to the team for opening up Subaru Park so we could all be there as a family, as one, supporting the Philadelphia Union. And I'm just really, 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 really proud to see the support that you guys, the fans, have given this team all season long. Just the pride, the excitement on your faces, and man, just all the away support we got this year. I hope that continues next year and that we just continue to travel more and more and more. And uh, fans, whom fans when we're the away team, that they feel intimidated seeing hundreds of Philadelphia Union fans take over the stadium. And I know MLS Cup and a regular season game, they're completely different things. But yeah, I just hope that this isn't the last time we see the Philadelphia Union in MLS Cup. I don't think it will be. But yeah, just be proud. Be proud of this team. All right, so you guys heard my thoughts exactly after the game on Saturday. Now, these are my thoughts on Sunday, and I won't spend too much time on them after I had time to sleep on the result. And I'm sure, like a lot of you guys feel numb. It feels unreal still to know that we're a minute away from lifting MLS Cup. But the last thing that I'll bring up about the game is, I saw a lot of fans complaining about the substitutions that Jim Curtin made. And I just want to remind you guys that once Jim Curtin subbed out Cory Burke for Chris Donovan, the Union were out of substitutes at that point. Jim Curtin couldn't make any more subs. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't Jim Curtin bring on defense? Why didn't he bring on Matt Real or Nate Harriel when we were up 3-2? Jim Curtin couldn't. And maybe you're thinking, well, it's 2-2. Why bring on Chris Donovan? And Chris Donovan's in there because he's a striker. Quinn Sullivan's not. You bring Chris Donovan in there to win headers because you have the man advantage. LAFC are going to be nice and compact, and they're going to expect crosses from the Union. And isn't that exactly what we got in the game-winning goal? A cross. And so LAFC knew exactly what was going to happen. The Union knew if we're going to score, it's going to come from crossing, and we'll score from a header. I know it didn't come from a header, but it came from a cross, and Jack Elliott was able to poke the ball in the back of the net. But I have no issue at all with Chris Donovan coming on when he came on. And hopefully the people that were confused about the substitution, why Nate Harriel and Matt Real didn't come on, hopefully you guys understand now that Jim Curtin could not make that substitution. And one more thing before we go over reviewing my keys to the game and my 3 stars and then breaking down these goals is Jack McGlynn. I don't remember if I said this Saturday or not, but he was definitely the weak link out there on the field. And Jim Curtin was never going to play Jesus Bueno in this game. He was never going to start Matt Real on the right side of the field. Jack McGlynn's the guy who's been playing most of the time on the right side of the field when Ale Bedoya cannot go. But I think that experiment of Jack McGlynn on the right side of the diamond needs to be done next season. I love Jack. Jack's a fantastic player. You guys have heard me say this multiple times on the podcast where I truly believe Jack McGlynn is a better 6 than he is 8. And I give him credit where he's gotten better on that position. And maybe more so to his credit, he's playing on the right side as opposed to the left side, so it's awkward for him playing over there where he's left-footed and he's having to shift his body and everything to get the ball on his left so he can pass with his left. It's very awkward, and I know a professional soccer player, it should be no adjustment for you, but every time that Jack McGlynn plays on the right side of the diamond, it's awkward for him. And yeah, the first goal LAFC scores, unlucky, takes a deflection off of him. But I just really hope this team goes out and spends. gets good quality depth. When you bring on a player like a Puku, when you bring on a Gareth Bale, when you bring on a Christian Teo, the Union don't have any of those caliber of players on the field. And I just hope with getting $4 million for Paxton Aronson that the Union spend some money, bring in some more TAM players, and just can really solidify the depth that we lacked throughout this season. But let's go ahead and review my keys to the game. And so I'll be honest with you guys, when I did keys to the game on the Twitter Spaces episode on Thursday, yeah, we recorded that on Thursday. I don't remember what point number 3 was, so maybe you guys remember that. I didn't feel like going back to listen to that episode. I'm being honest. And so I don't really remember what the third key was. But the first key I said was you got to find space. And that's exactly what Daniel Gazdag found on the first goal. We saw Mika Uwa in a lot of 1v1 situations. He took too many touches at times where the LAFC defense was able to capitalize and make a recovery and take the ball off of Mikel. They would force Mikel wide. And so the Union did find space in this game. If you guys notice, majority of this game, LAFC sat back. When LAFC were attacking, they would always try to hit on the counterattack. And to the Union's credit, I thought they defended well in 1v1 situations. Bizo, Wagner, Elliott, and Glesnes, they all defended well. Yeah, Martinez came in there with a stupid challenge to give up their free kick that eventually led to the first goal for LAFC. But throughout the game, I really do think the Union were the better team because of how far back they had LAFC pushed. And that's just a credit to this team where we saw a majority of the season and they're trying to hit teams on the counterattack. They're having less of the ball. They're stringing 1-2 passes together and then they're in with a chance to score. And that wasn't the case against LAFC. They're stringing a lot of passes together. They're going from side to side. They're playing long balls over the top. They're getting in 1v1 situations. And a lot of those chances where they were finding space, too many touches. So I would say that's a pass because they did find the space. They just didn't capitalize off of a lot of those chances. Number 2, I said you got to stay compact. Don't lose your shape. And maybe you guys are going to say that this was a fail. For me, I think this was probably a pass because, like I said, the Union did good. The two fullbacks, and Kai Wagner and Bizo, did a good job on Bouanga and Vela, not allowing them to get to the end line, except for the game-tying goal that LAFC scored. Bizo and Wagner were terrific with their wingers. Jack Elliott and Jacob Glesnes, they were terrific in the center of the field. They were clearing balls out left and right. And so I would say they did a good job not getting pulled out of position. Yeah, you had Jack McGlynn, Jose Martinez make stupid challenges where probably didn't need to make those challenges. But for the most part, I think the Union did a good job to keep their shape. So maybe you guys feel differently. My opinion, I do think that the Union did pass the 2 keys that I said on Thursday. But let's go ahead and break down these goals. And honestly, last night when I went to bed after I recorded this podcast on Saturday, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can find it in me to rewatch these goals. But yeah, I found it in me to rewatch these goals. And let's go ahead and look at that first goal. So like I said, LAFC have a free kick just outside the 18. It's pretty center. And Carlos Vela's lined up, acting like he's going to take this free kick. Everybody on this team, I would assume, thought that this is Vela's. He's going to hit on his left. And they do a good job to fake it on the wall. Kalen Acosta's going to go ahead and run up to this ball and aims it at Jack McGlynn. And Jack McGlynn, unfortunately, hits off of his face towards his own goal. Nothing else to that, in my opinion, other than, Kalen Acosta hits a good free kick, and it's unfortunate that it hits off of Jack McGlynn's face. Nothing Andre Blake could have done there. And then we have to wait all the way up until the second half of this game. Early on in the second half, the Union, they get their goal in the 59th minute, courtesy of Daniel Gazdag. We're going to have Jose Martinez try one of his many long shots in this game. And this was not a pass from Jose Martinez. He is 100% shooting this. And to Jose's credit, right? How many times in the season have we seen him take these long-range shots, blast them over the bar? If I'm correct, every single shot he took was on the ground. And he's fortunate here where he skips past Carlos Vela, takes a shot maybe 30 yards out. LAFC on Daniel Gazdag. The ball goes by Ilie. And Daniel Gazdag takes a great left-footed touch, really opens up his body, and he's on. Terrific finish, puts it over the goalkeeper, and the Union tie this game up 1-1. And some fans, I'm sure, in that stadium in Subaru Park were nervous that Daniel Gazlag's potentially offsides. But terrific finish. And how many times last year were we complaining about, our strikers, their touches suck. Their first touch sucks. We need a new striker because their touch is letting them down. And Daniel Gazdag, one of the best touches on this team. And a hard blasted shot on the ground from Jose Martinez. Daniel Gazdag is able to take a great touch with his left, open up his body, and a terrific finish like we've seen most of the season from Daniel Gazdag. Then we go to the 83rd minute off of a set piece. Like I said, 2 out of 3 goals from LAFC came off of set pieces. And like we've seen all throughout the season, the Union play a mix of zone and man marking. And so Jose Martinez is going to lose his guy here. This is a complete mismatch where you have Jose Martinez on a center back. You have Jack Elliott towards the back post. He's in one zone. You have Jacob Glesnes in one zone. You have Paizo and Cory Burke in another zone. And everybody else is just going to be man marking. And so LAFC is going to go and swing this ball in. And as soon as the ball is kicked, Jose Martinez loses his mark. He's running. And nobody else is able to react to this ball. Paizo steps up close because he thinks the ball is going to Bouanga. It goes completely over Paizo and Bouanga's head. And Jose Martinez is beat. There's nothing Jose Martinez could have done on that. Got a late jump and was out-jumped. That's the problem with man marking and when you play a hybrid system. A lot of times in soccer, when you see teams play straight-up man marking, you're going to have the center backs on the attacking center backs. And that's not what the Union do here. They keep them in the zone. And the Union do enough research to see that, okay, we're going to keep our best guys in the air in these zones where the ball typically goes. Everybody else has to be on their man. If the ball comes into these zones, then Jack Elliott, Cory Burke, Paizo, Jacob Glesnes, they're going to clear it out. And as soon as LAFC take this, Martinez is completely beat. And he's not going to win a header on a center back that has the height difference on him. And then 2 minutes later, this team does not give up. You have Jack Elliott scoring off of a set piece. And I remember saying to Ed, I was like, all right, the Union have to score here on a set piece. We've given up 2 set piece goals. We know we're one of the best teams in MLS on set piece goals and defending. And we've given up 2. We've got to get a set piece goal here. And so, unlike the Union, LAFC is just going to play a whole bunch of man marking here. You're going to have Jack Elliott make a short run towards the corner flag. And that's exactly where Kai Wagner is going to send this ball. And Bouanga does not track the runner. The ball gets over Carlos Vela, I believe that is. And Jack Elliott has a ton of space. All he has to do is put this ball on target If it goes in the back of the net, great. If not, you hope for a rebound because the Union have plenty numbers inside the box if this gets pushed out by the goalkeeper. And fortunately for the Union, Jack Elliott has a terrific header. You see Bizer fall to his knees celebrating. Cannot believe what he just says. The Sons of Ben in the stadium. You guys are going wild. You have everybody else at Subaru Park going crazy. The Union tied up in the 85th minute. We go to extra time where, again, this one hurts. The Union, the first time all day, they get a goal to give them the lead in the 123rd minute. This all comes from a corner kick from the Union, where now LAFC are going to play a little bit of a zonal and man marking. And you have Kai Wagner taking the cross, taking the corner. The ball gets missed by the goalkeeper, by John McCarthy. And this ball is going to roll around inside the box, eventually fall to Paxton Aronson, who's going to try a shot. It gets deflected. The ball gets cleared out by Gareth Bale to Bizo. Bizo's going to try to send this in again for a cross. It gets cleared away by Gareth Bale once again. And credit to Jacob Glesnes for not being inside the box for this corner kick, but he's right outside the 18. And he's first to react to the ball, so he heads it down to Bizo. Bizo's just going to lay it off to Kai Wagner. Kai Wagner is going to take one touch, get the ball on his left foot. Terrible defending here by LAFC. They know that Kai Wagner has no right foot, and they allow him to switch the ball from his right to left. Kai Wagner gets enough space where he can play the ball in, and we're going to see the ball goes up. Great save by McCarthy, and Jack Elliott is the first person to react to this. The Union take the lead, think that they have the game winner, and we wait until the 128th minute. And it comes in. Another goal that the Union gave up. This came from a throw-in. So I guess technically, right, all three goals that the Union gave up came from set pieces. And so Palacios is going to throw this ball in. You have Daniel Gazag marking guy. You have Paxton Aronson marking the throw-in. And you have Bizo marking the guy on the right side of the field. And they're going to go ahead and throw the ball to the guy that Bizo's on. Bizo's man marking him really, really good. And unfortunately for Bizo, it takes a weird bounce from the player that he's marking. I believe that's Christian Teo. Paxton Aronson jumps up, misses the ball, and Palacios is then able to use his pace, get in behind Bizo. And we have Gareth Bale and Jack Elliott dueling here. Jack Elliott's backing up to the 6-yard line instead of just being on Gareth Bale. And Palacios takes this ball extremely close to the byline. And by the time that he finally crosses the ball, you have Jack Elliott lined up on the 6, and you have Gareth Bale just out jumping him. And as soon as this ball goes up towards Gareth Bale, Jack Elliott, he knows it's trouble. He comes off that 6-yard line, and he gets a late jump to the ball, and yeah, Gareth Bale out jumps him. It's a goal. 3-3. We go into penalties, and just wasn't meant to be for the Union, and it hurts that you're a minute away, for sure. And it hurts that we all thought that the Union were going to lift MLS Cup. A hell of a job for 128 minutes in this game from the Union to not to give up, to bounce back, and tie the game up twice, to take the lead. The players gave everything. You guys, the fans at the stadium, gave everything, and it just wasn't meant to be. And so hopefully the Union don't lose a lot of players in the offseason. Hopefully Kai Wagner can stay around for another year. I listened to a post-match press conference from Kai Wagner after the game, and they asked, how do you regroup, bounce back for next season? I'm not thinking about next season. I'm just going to think about relaxing with my family. And so I think that tells you everything you need to know, that Kai Wagner is ready to go to Europe. We've heard it the last 2 seasons. And so we'll see. We'll see if Kai does eventually get sold, or will he be back? Remember, his contract is up, but the team has an option. So when you guys see the Union have activated that option, you guys are going to get excited on social media. And you're like, oh, I told you, look, Kai Wagner's not leaving. No, the Union have to activate that option so they don't lose Kai Wagner for free. And so we'll see. We'll see what the Union do in the offseason. I just really, really hope that they invest, they bring in some good quality players that can push the starters, that can make a difference coming off the bench. But I don't think the Union are finished yet. There's a lot of games. This team is built for more runs, and this wasn't our year, unfortunately. We were so close, and I know you guys don't want to hear it. Well, we don't know what next year has in store when we were a minute away. How can you be positive about what's going to happen next season when we were a minute away from lifting the trophy we want the most? I hear you guys. But if you guys aren't following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, follow @FreeKickPod, wherever you get your podcasts, The Free Kick. And check out the website, thefreekick.net. And I'll give you guys, I guess, the next episode, a season preview. I'm not sure when I'll record that. And then I'm going to try to make it my goal this offseason to try to write more, try to do featured articles, or keep you guys up to date with the latest Union news on my website. Got to get better at writing. Definitely want to give you guys more content on the website, like I'm giving you guys content with the podcast. And we'll see. We'll see what I have in store the rest of the season. Like I told you guys Saturday, for sure, we're definitely talking to more Union fans. And yeah, hopefully you guys are feeling better. I still feel numb, still feel disappointed. But I'm not mad at the players. I'm not mad at the coaching staff. I'm not mad at any of that. It's a bad taste in your mouth when you're a minute away. It hurts. Really, really hurts. But until then, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.